Okay, so this isn't a planned video, but of course circumstances almost insist that I discuss this topic, and of course we're looking at the riots, and I'm going to compare 98 with 2025. Before I begin, I'd like to say one thing for tourists and expats. Do not in any shape or form get involved in this. Riots are not places to be, I can vouch for that. If you want to take part in a demo, instant deportation. So bear that in mind. Please do not, under any circumstances, take part. Okay, enough of this. Let's have a look at the causes of 98 and the comparison between then and now. If we look at 98, there were many causes and there was probably one spark. The major cause for 98, in my opinion, there are different opinions, was the economy. The rupiah had tanked due to many reasons, and people were feeling the heat. Also, it was common knowledge that Suharto's government was hugely corrupt. His family, his kids, oh my God, they were just, I guess you could say, taking the piss. It was that bad. The riots actually began in Sumatra, not Jakarta, and within a day or two they'd spread to many other cities. Compare that to today, and there are a few different factors. First of all, this isn't an anti-Prabowo demonstration. They're not after getting rid of the president. It can change, by the way. Generally, this is again back down to corruption, nepotism. The bottom line is that Indonesians are pig sick of politicians, government workers screwing them, and I mean screw. So the message clearly is to Ahmad Rahoni and all the other members of DPR MPR, the people are sick of it. They're sick of corruption, they're sick of you taking their money. So one of the biggest differences between then and now is, well, the mobile phone. The mobile phone wasn't around in 98. Now information is given very quickly. You can amass a large group of people within minutes. In the 88 riots, there were no mobiles. There was poor communication. In many ways, they were more spontaneous in 98. Now, where does this lead us? Unfortunately, to what I would say are the two main questions that will be resolved within probably the next 2 or 3 days. The first one, and one area which I'm very happy hasn't happened yet, in 98, there's no doubt about it, it might not have been the reason for the riots, but the Chinese were targeted. If that were to happen within the next day or two, all bets are off. This riot, this problem will intensify. The Chinese will leave, and 30% didn't come back last time, and the economy will tank. So please don't target the Chinese. They're not the reason for this problem, I promise you that. The second, T&I, as in the army. The army are crucial. They still have the love of the people as they had in 98. They maintain that at the moment. If they were to lose that, similar to the police. And by the way, there are so many parallels between here and the UK, ironically. The British people are sick of corruption and officials dominating their life. The people are sick of the police pushing them around. Well, what comes around goes around. It's happening here as well in Indonesia. Except the Indonesians, they kind of get upset a little quicker than the Brits, and maybe it's time the Brits get more bloody belligerent. Now, of course, when it comes to 98, these were student-led riots. This time, it's people-led riots, specifically the unions. It doesn't mean students or the people weren't involved in either, but it's an important area that differs the two. And another one, of course, the major spark, the end of Suharto, the end was the killing of, I think, 5 students. The murder, we already have one. A couple of days ago, the police killed 1 Indonesian, and it was a malicious killing. They just ran over. So if there were more murders, and I use that word reluctantly, but that's what they are. No, it's all over. So that's where we stand at the moment. Once again, I really hope things get resolved, and quickly. Here in Bali, generally, we're not going to see the worst of this. Whatever happens, the Balinese understand that they cannot afford to allow major riots in tourist areas. They just can't. So, in many ways, Singapore and Bali in 98 were the places to come, because safe from riots. I would imagine the Chinese, if they do end up being persecuted, will be coming here or going to Singapore. Time will tell. I hope we're not in the early days. I hope we're at the end, because the longer this goes on, the worse it will get. I promise you that. But let's presume things settle down. One last thing. During the riots and within a week of the aftermath, the rupiah fell 40% of its value, maybe 50 within a week. Watch out if these riots continue and the rupiah devalues, because I'm telling you this, if you want to make money, put your money in rupiah the moment it falls 30-40%, and you will get your investment plus 30-40% within a week. I know it's not really something you should talk about, but why not make money? Money's good, right? So bear that in mind if the rupiah falls. Because one day, within 2 or 3 years, I promise you, the rupiah, mark my words, it'll be around 12,000 rupees a dollar. That's another advantage of buying property here. Anyway, enough of this. That's about the riots. At the end, just now, I'm going to post, if you want to check it out, my story about the 98 riots. Keep smiling.